For those of you who don't know, the lady on my screen is Cheyenne Bryant, a lady from California who, up until a few months ago, was very much respected in the larger Black community. And she would feature on podcasts and live streams. And there's a lot of people that bought into her ideologies, her teachings. They paid for courses. They really trusted her when it came to relationships. But just like most of the things the Blacks do, money is always the motivator. Integrity is never part of the equation. Absolutely no integrity. These people can take their own families down just to make a buck. You guys know my position on a lot of things, and you won't find me subscribed to things like this, but nonetheless, we're going to talk about it. One of the things that somebody that prides myself as an academic, one of the things that I really personally hate is undeserving, lazy people use up academic titles but not do the work to earn those titles. I don't think she even has a bachelor's degree. I don't think she went to college. From what we're hearing, she was a stripper. Okay? Like, where are your morals, lady? And then doesn't have a bachelor's degree. Maybe she does. I don't know. I don't care. Didn't earn a master's. You can go to a PhD straight from a bachelor's degree nowadays, yes. But most of them will have a terminal master's along the line after 1 year of coursework. I know how this works. But she doesn't have a PhD. And the school that she says she got a PhD from doesn't even exist. Surprise, right? See, these Blacks have to be serious. And some of them are calling her out. Some of them have figured it out. But a lot of us knew this already. I mean, you can tell from how people speak. When they're faking shit, you can tell. But let's go ahead and listen to her response to all the stuff that has been going on, all the controversy around her educational attainment.
Do you understand the backlash, or you're just like, that just doesn't matter? Like, that's what I'm asking. Like, do you feel like this, you need to show documents, is important, or is it not?
I think it's important to people I'm working with. I think it's important to my clients. I don't think it's important to defend against critics. Again, I go back to Jesus. If Jesus started to defend against every accusation while he was on his way to the cross, he will still be there.
Okay, so now invoking Jesus into your bullshit and your mess. Jesus? You're comparing yourself to Jesus? You're a liar. You're lazy. You're stealing from your community. What you're doing is very harmful because you're doing it in the scope of psychology where people actually need help with things like their finances, their marriages, their relationships. When you have no experience, this is part of the problems that I have with mostly Black creators, right? They do things that they have no experience in. They talk about relationships, like MTR has no relationship. Okay? They talk about things that they have no experience in. And they monetize these things at the detriment of their own society. And when cumulatively, this society stays and remains at the bottom, they seem to not understand why they are at the bottom. Well, all these are contributing factors. Okay? So start with some integrity. And while you're at it, take some accountability for some of these things too. You could have just said, hey, I screwed up. You all caught me, man. Let me move on to the next grift. This is an old head. That's how we call them in Ghana. We call these women like this, we call them old heads. They're women that have been in the game, don't want to retire. And they're on their last strand. They're trying to make the best out of nothing. Why are you listening to shit like this? And this is for the audience. Like, why do you waste your time listening to shit like this? It's not even entertaining. Find some other entertainment. Go watch a stand-up comedy or something. We do these things to ourselves. Again, in my previous video, I talked about something called the trust score. That Black people in America need to improve their trust score. I said it. Yes, I said it. Y'all know me. I don't give a fuck. I will say it. You need to improve your trust score. And that means you need to minimize the amount of crimes you're committing. You need to be serious about your craft. not just entertainment and sports, but really, if you're going to pursue the sciences, try to be the best at it. Try to be inclusive and serious in your processing. This whole Camelo thing that we talked about, it doesn't happen if he's raised right. A lot of you are making it because in the community, it sounds like it's a big deal. It's not a big deal to live in Frisco. It doesn't exonerate you from being a bad parent. You can be in Frisco and prosper right here and still be a bad parent. And judging from the press conferences that I've heard after the trial, these are not emotionally mature parents. They were just tossing a coin and it just didn't land well. And I hope they do right by the remaining kids that they have, because that family comes across as very dysfunctional. They meet the stereotype, even though it's a 2-parent household, that no. It's a 2-parent household doesn't necessarily mean you have a father and a mother at home, and that should mean they're doing things right. It's what you also teach your kids. It's how much involved you are in your kids' activities and their lives. It's the things they hear you talk about, your discussions, what you put them in and how you raise them. You actually have to raise them. Again, I've raised a kid through high school, so I know exactly what I'm saying. You have to raise them and shape them. And that boy went off to Indiana University and is doing well.
That means that we would still be in sin. We still wouldn't have forgiveness. Instead, he walked his walk and did his journey and ran the play, and we're here today. So again, when I say the outside chatter is there for a reason, let me tell you something what I've learned. There's 2 types of wins, right? There's easy wins, and then there's wins you got to work for. When God gives you, let's just say, gives you 100 easy wins, 101, he says, all right, baby, I've been giving it to you, but I want to give you one to see if you can work for it. I want to see if you got skin in the game. I want to see how much you're invested in what I've been blessing you and giving you. And when those type of wins come, because they all wins, you're supposed to show God by how gratitude you are by saying, you know what, I got skin in the game. I ain't got no problem with working for it.
Whatever she said doesn't make sense at all. This is why it's not surprising that a woman like this is childless, still out there in the streets. In her own words, she said that on a Paul Pierce interview. She's out there, has a roster, right? Old as hell, not married, not desirable. Men can feel this. Men can see this shit. And I'm not a red pillar. You guys know where I stand on this. These are real facts. That, I mean, think about it. Can you imagine being in a relationship with a woman like this? You know, these are women you can't take seriously. Lying about your credentials, not wanting to put in the work, trying to fit in places where you don't belong. And unfortunately, there's a lot of them like this. Again, all these things contribute to the cumulative problems that they face, because here's a woman that doesn't want to do things right and is teaching other people. So imagine the outcomes when somebody like this is the one that is influencing you. This is the person that is teaching you. This is the person that you watch and you learn from. These are very flawed individuals with huge following and huge impact in that community. And when you spot these things, you need to call them out and put a lot of pressure on them. You have to. If you really want to have a chance of saving your community, these are the things you're supposed to do. You got to start calling out these little things that are contributing factors to your demise and your failure.